State lawmakers are heading home tonight. So, what did they do this session? And will your life be better because of any of it? Well, as part of our commitment to you to lay out all the sides of the big issues, we are taking a 360 look tonight. So here's Denver 7's Mark Stewart.
A big challenge this session for the men and women you elected to make decisions for our state. Republicans dominated the Senate, Democrats the state House, a combination making compromise tricky. Your lawmakers wanted to handle three big issues: transportation, education, and finally issues involving everyday living. But let's start with a reality check. Lawmakers had to confront allegations of sexual harassment swirling for months. Some would argue putting a pause on the day-to-day work. Representative Steve Lebstock made tarnish history as the first lawmaker expelled from the state legislature in more than 100 years.
If we don't move forward with this expulsion, we are sending a very dangerous message that when we put on this badge, that we are held above accountability and reproach.
Things getting so heated, two lawmakers admitted to wearing bulletproof vests, concerned for their safety during the debate. The controversy extended into the state Senate, where Senator Randy Baumgardner was stripped of all of his committee assignments. With some resolution, it was time for lawmakers to bring it back to their tasks at hand. On transportation, a last-minute agreement to sign off on more than $2 billion in bonds, a drop in the bucket for the $9 billion needed to fix roads and bridges. That means voters could be asked to vote to raise the sales tax.
Senate Bill 1, unfortunately, will not solve the big picture, but it's a pretty good backup plan.
Despite many views on how best to spend education dollars, a bipartisan agreement to raise per pupil spending by nearly $500 and lingering financial stress.
We put $150 million to buy down the negative factor. We increased per pupil funding significantly for every school district across the state.
On the other hand, lawmakers couldn't agree on a plan to make it easier to remove guns from someone in the middle of a mental health crisis, nor could they settle on a plan making it easier to arm teachers at schools. Yet they did agree on a plan to bring faster broadband to remote areas of our state.
Mark Stewart joins us live at the Capitol tonight. So, Mark, if anybody who gets a pension from the state is in limbo, any 11th hour agreement on PARA, the state retirement program?
Shannon, as we come on at 6 o'clock, still no formal discussion, still no formal agreement on PARA, but spending the day at the Capitol, I think it's clear that both sides of the aisle want to have some kind of agreement, because when you do the math, 1 in 10 Coloradans, anyone who works for the state, anyone who's a teacher, they depend on that state pension for their future. So I think it's very likely that an agreement will be reached. It may not be, though, until late tonight.
Well, they don't have much time. Mark Stewart out at the Capitol. Thanks, Mark. So now it's your turn. Let us know what grade you would give your elected officials. Email us at 360@thedenverchannel.com or send us a message on social media.